Lecture 3 of the module 2. This is a total number. This is the 7th lecture of this series. So, today I will explain about this shallow foundation, and the last class I have explained the bearing capacity of the shallow foundation in Tazaki's bearing capacity analysis, how to determine the ultimate load carrying capacity of the soil. Those things I have discussed, and then the effect of water table on the bearing capacity analysis, those things are also discussed in the last class. So, now today in this class I will discuss the other methods of analysis to find the bearing capacity of the soil. Now, first before we start the different methods of the bearing capacity analysis, now this section I will discuss about the factor of safety, how to apply the factor of safety on ultimate bearing capacity to determine the allowable load carrying capacity of the soil. In the last class I have discussed that we can apply a factor of safety 2.5 or 3, or even we can apply a factor of safety 4 for the bearing capacity, ultimate bearing capacity analysis to get the safe bearing capacity. Now, there is an alternate method by which we can determine we can apply the factor of safety, that is against shear. Now, first method that we will discuss, that for the factor of safety, so suppose if U is the ultimate QU is the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil, this is the ultimate if this is ultimate bearing capacity, then we can get the allowable bearing capacity or the safe bearing capacity by dividing factor of safety in this Q. That means, Q allowable is Q ultimate divided by factor of safety. Now, this factor of safety, as I have mentioned already, that we can take a factor of safety around say 2.5 or 3 or even 4 also we can apply. So, now this is 3 and or even 4 we can apply. Now, sometimes it is recommended that we can apply the net allowable bearing capacity of the soil. That means, there is Q allowable in net, because it is in practice that some of the cases this net allowable bearing capacity is used. That means, in that case this will be the Q net divided by factor of safety. Now, here we can determine the Q net is Q ultimate minus gamma into dF is factor of safety. So, these are the things that we have already explained. So, how to determine this dF is the depth of the footing, gamma is the unit weight of the soil. So, this is the net bearing capacity. If we apply the factor of safety, then we will get the Q allowable net. Now, there is alternate method. So, there is another alternate method is there, where we can apply a factor of safety F s against shear. So, generally it is applied this value 1.4 to 1.6 for shear failure. So, generally this against this footing load the soil is failed against shear. So, in another alternate method we are applying this factor of safety against shear, because in the first method this is where we are applying a overall factor of safety say 2.5 to 4, or here we are applying a factor of safety against shear, that is normally 1.4 to 1.6. Now, how to calculate these things here? For the step 1, then we can suppose C and phi are the two shear parameters. C is the cohesion of the soil, phi is the friction angle of the soil. Then first we have to modify this C by applying this factor of safety shear. In this process, that we have to determine this C d by dividing this C into factor of safety, this shear. So, C divided by factor of safety against shear. Similarly, we can determine that phi d, that will be tan inverse tan phi in factor of safety shear. So, first in this apply, when we are applying this factor of safety, that means divide this C with this factor of safety against shear, and then determine the new phi with tan inverse tan phi factor of safety against shear. Now, in step 2, when we calculate this Q allowable, that expression will be C d N c plus Q N q plus half gamma B N gamma. Now, where Q is gamma into d f. Now, here in place of in the Terzaghi's expression, that we know that value is C N c plus Q N q plus half gamma N gamma, where is C is replaced by this C d, and this Q is the gamma into d f, and when we calculate this N c N gamma N q from the table of this table that was given in the last class in the Terzaghi's analysis, or any other methods that I will discuss later on. So, here if we want to find this bearing capacity factor by using those tables. So, where those tables are values are given with respect to phi, but when we apply this factor of safety against shear, then instead of using phi, we have to use phi d when we calculate this bearing capacity factor. That means, when we determine the N c N q N gamma, then we have to use phi d. That means, corresponding to phi d value, have to determine this N q, N c and N gamma, these bearing capacity factors. So, then we need not apply any additional factor of safety or overall factor of safety. If we adopt this process, then this expression itself will give us the Q allowable. Now, if we want to find in the step 3, if we want to find that Q allowable net, then just Q allowable minus Q, that will give us the Q allowable net. So, where this Q will give us C d N c plus Q N q minus 1 plus half gamma B N gamma. So, in this process, so there are two methods, one is where we are applying the overall factor of safety, and one is where we are applying this factor of safety against shear. So, in these two methods, here we are applying overall factor of safety 2.5 to 4 or 3, 2.5 or 3 or 4, or here we are applying the factor of safety against shear 1.4 and 1.6. So, for any expression by using trial and error method, we can determine what will be the factor of safety against shear. So, that these two values are same, or otherwise these factor of safety value, these are the range, but this factor of safety value that we have to use during our design, that depends on the site condition, the risk of this structure and the importance of the structure. So, those effects are very important. So, by considering those effects, we have to decide how much value of the factor of safety overall or against here that we will choose. That is an important issue. So, these two methods, alternate 1 and 2 methods, second method 2, that we can use to determine the allowable bearing capacity of the soil or net allowable bearing capacity of the soil during our design. Now, the next one is the Skempton bearing capacity analysis for the clay, because the till now we have discussing about this C5 soil. So, this Skempton bearing capacity analysis, this is applicable only for clay soil, because in Tarzaki's theory that I have already explained, that is applicable for any C type of soil or even for purely cohesive soil or purely cohesionless soil. Now, this Skempton bearing capacity analysis, it is applicable only for clay. Now, this recommendation that that is recommended by Skempton is such that for this Skempton bearing capacity analysis, this is for bearing capacity analysis. So, this is valid for only for case. So, that is why we can write that here phi 0 phi u is 0. So, this is valid for only clay. So, here is purely cohesive soil. So, that means phi u will be 0. Now, recommendation is that we can calculate Q net ultimate. So, this is Q net ultimate by using Cu and Nc. Nc is the bearing capacity factor and Cu is the undrained cohesion of the soil. Now, how to, these are different cases where we can use this Nc value. Now, for the strip footing, we can write this Nc for the strip footing, this Nc value we can write it is 5 into 1 plus 0.2 df by b, and which cannot be greater than 7.5. So, here for the strip footing, this Nc is 5 into 1 plus 0.2 df by where df is the depth of the foundation and b is the width of the foundation, and that is limited to 7.5. That means, the minimum of these two we have to consider. Either if this value is calculated value is greater than 7.5, then we have to consider 7.5. If this calculated value is less than 7.5, then we have to consider this calculated value. Where we, as we know this, if this is the foundation, then this will be the b width of the foundation and this one will be the depth of the foundation. Now, similarly for square footing, square or circular footing, the expression that is given for Nc is 6 into 1 plus 0.2 df by b, which is limited to 9. So, here this value is 6 into 1.5 into 1 plus 0.2 df by b, which is limited to maximum value 9. Now, similarly for the rectangular footing, this Nc value that we will get is 5 1 plus 0.2 df by b into 1 plus 0.2 b by L for this value df by b less than equal to 2.5. So, that means, if it is a rectangular footing, then for df by b less than equal to 2.5 we can use this NC expression. Now, similarly, if df by b is greater than 2.5, then we can use NC value is 7.5 plus 0.2 b by L for df by b greater than 2.5. So, these are the different cases where we can use this Skempton bearing capacity analysis for the square or circular footing or rectangular footing, or this is for strip footing. For the strip footing, this expression you have to use, which is limited to 7.5. For square or circular footing, this NC is this expression, which is limited to 9, and for the rectangular footing, if df by b is less than equal to 2.5, then we can use this expression. Now, if df by b greater than equal to 2.5, then we can use this last expression. Now, once we get this NC from this expression for different cases, then by using this QNU value, I mean net ultimate value, by using Cu and then multiplying this NC with the undrained cohesion of the soil. So, this is Skempton analysis, bearing capacity analysis for this purely cohesive soil. Now, the next one that we will discuss about the Meyerup bearing capacity analysis. Now, in this Tarzaki's bearing capacity analysis, that it is assumed that this failure surface is extended up to the base of the footing. But in the Meyerup analysis, it is assumed that this failure surface is extended up to the surface of the ground, up to the ground surface. So, then the contribution from this above the soil above the base of the footing, that is also incorporated in this analysis. And another thing that is this Meyerup analysis is more general in nature, because here the different factors, that is the shape of the footing, then the inclination of loading, and then the depth of the footing, those things are incorporated in this expression, because in the Tarzaki's analysis, that is for purely vertical loading, and where this is it is assumed that we are taking this load as a surcharge load above the base of the footing. So, it is more or less a surface footing, or the footing resting on the ground surface with a surcharge. And then this is the shape, different shape, because this Tarzaki's analysis is valid for either strip footing or circular footing or square footing. Those expressions are available. Now, for the rectangular footing type of footing, those expressions are not available. So, for this consideration, in Meyerup proposed bearing capacity analysis with this expression, the C, NC, SC, DC, IC, where this S term denotes the shape factors, now D which denotes the depth factors, and I is the inclination factors. So, shape factors means the shape of the footings, and D is the depth of the footings, and I is the inclination, loading inclination of the footing. So, these are the expression. This is for the first term, this NC with term, this is for the surcharge term Q, and this is for the density term. So, these are the different factors. Now, here Meyerup bearing capacity factor, these are suggested in this table, because the similar expressions are as the Tarzaki has suggested various expression for NC, NQ and N gamma. Similarly, Meyerup has also suggested the expression for NQ, NC and N gamma, and if we can find these bearing capacity factors for different phi values for, and these things are presented in this table. So, this from 0 to 50 degree angles of this internal friction angles, then what will be the NC, NQ and N gamma value. Then similarly, this Meyerup correction factor, this is the depth correction, shape correction and the inclination correction, those things are also presented in this table, where SC, SQ, S gamma is 1 for strip footing. If it is strip footing, these three shape factors are 1. If SC will be 1 plus 0.2 B by L tan square 45 degree plus phi by 2, where B is the width of the footing, L is the length of the footing and phi is the friction angle of the soil. So, this is the SC value. Similarly, by using this expression, if phi is greater than 10 degree, then SQ, S gamma we can determine. Now, if phi is 0, then SQ and S gamma is 1. Similarly, by the depth factor we can define this. D is the depth of the foundation, B is the width of the foundation and we can determine the DC value. Similarly, for DQ and D gamma value also we can determine for phi equal to greater than 10 degree and for phi equal to 1 this value is 1. Similarly, inclination factor IC, IQ we can determine from this expression, where alpha is degree and I gamma is can be determined by using this expression 1 minus alpha by phi whole square. Now, here alpha is the inclination of the resultant load from vertical. So, that means the alpha angle is measured from the vertical axis, which is the inclination of the resultant load, or in other hand alpha can be determined by tan inverse H by V, where H and V are the horizontal and vertical components of the load which is acting as the base of the foundation. So, if there is two components of loading and acting, one is horizontal, one is vertical, then as the base of the footing, then if we know these horizontal vertical components, then we can determine this alpha by using this tan inverse horizontal by vertical components of the load, or in other words, if we know the direction of the resultant force, then the angle this resultant force is making with the vertical axis, that is denoted as alpha. So, if we know this thing alpha value and other different properties, then the dimension of the footing, then we can determine this correction factor, and by using this table we can corresponding to phi value we can determine the bearing capacity factor, and if we know these correction factors, the bearing capacity factor, then finally by using this expression we can determine the ultimate load carrying capacity of the soil by considering this shape factor, depth factor, inclination factor of the footing. The next one is the Hansen recommendation, which is similar to this Mehrhof recommendations, and where this if phi is greater than 0, then this expression are used, where this S D I the same as shape factor, depth factor and inclination factor. Now, for the if phi is 0, then we can use these expressions, where again SC, DC, IC is the shape, depth and inclination factor. Now, in this Hansen's recommendations, it is mentioned that the NC and NQ, these two bearing capacity factor, these are determined similar to the Mehrhof NC and NQ value. That means, by using this Mehrhof table we can determine this NC and NQ for Hansen's analysis also, but for this n gamma factors, Hansen has recommended one table, that is to determine this corresponding to the phi value, then we can determine this n gamma factors for different phi values. This varies from 0 degree to 50 degrees. These are the values of NQ. So, by using the Mehrhof table for Hansen's recommendation, we can determine the NC and NQ bearing capacity factor, and by using this table we can determine the n gamma bearing capacity factor. Now, this Hansen's correction factor is similar to the bearing Mehrhof's correction factors. This is the table which is presented for the Hansen's correction factors. So, this is for the shape factors, these are the shape factors for phi equal to 0, this is for phi greater than 0, then this is the two shape factor for SC and this is SQ, and similarly is gamma. But similar to depth factor, if phi equal to 0 and d equal to less than equal to b, and then for phi equal to 0, d greater than b, this is the depth factor, and if d less than equal to b and phi greater than 0, then this is the depth factor. Now, if d greater than b and phi also greater than b, then this is the depth factor dc. Similarly, for dq we can determine by using this expression, and for different condition, if d is greater than b, then this expression, if d is less than equal to b, then this expression. Now, here d is the depth of the foundation, b is the width of the foundation, and d gamma is 1. Similarly, for the inclination factor also we can determine this is the inclination factor expression, where this h and v, these are the horizontal and vertical components of the load that is acting at the base of the footing respectively, and c is the cohesion and phi is the friction angle of the soil. So, this is the different inclination factor we can determine by using different conditions for Henson's correction factor. So, if we know these correction factors for Henson and then the bearing capacity factors, then by using this expression as different condition, we can determine what would be the ultimate load carrying capacity of the soil. Now, next one is our IS code recommendations, where IS 6403 1981, these are the recommendation that this is similar to the analysis which is presented by Vesic. So, this is the here we can determine that net ultimate bearing capacity of the soil by using this expression. By using this expression we can determine the net ultimate bearing capacity, whereas previous expression we are getting this ultimate bearing capacity for Tazaki, for Meyerup and for Henson's, and for the Skempton analysis also, that is also net ultimate bearing capacity. Similar to this one, IS code recommendation, this is also for net ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. Now, here one factor, this is similar to again this SC, DC, IC is for shape factor, depth factor and the inclination factor. Now, this expression is valid for this phi greater than 0 condition, and this expression second one is valid for phi equal to 0 condition. So, if this is phi equal greater than 0 and this is phi equal to 0 condition, where NC is 5.14 and this is the at phi equal to 0 condition, this will be the net ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. Here in this expression there is one term W dash, which takes into account the effect of groundwater table position. So, this W dash is used for apply the corrections for basically water table. Now, if this water table is below at a depth of df by b below the ground level. So, where this df is the depth of the foundation and b is the width of the foundation, or dw dash greater than equal to b, if dw is measured from the base of the foundation, then this w dash is 1. Basically, if the position of water table is equal to or greater than the width equal to depth which is greater than or equal to width of the foundation, if this depth is measured from the base of the foundation, then this correction for water table is equal to 1. Now, dw dash, if this is 0, that means the position of the water table at the base of the foundation, then this w dash is equal to 0.5. Now, if this w dash can be linearly interpolated between 0 to 1. So, that means we can say this w dash is linearly interpolated between 0 to 1 if dw is greater than 0 or less than b. So, in between this, because this at the b position, this w dash is 1 and 0 position, this w dash is 0.5. So, that means this can be linearly interpolated between this range Now, so in this, by applying this W dash corrections, we can corrected these terms for the water table. Now, for the second term, this Q in Q water table effect is taken care into the effect of effective surcharge at the level of the base of the footing. So, when you to incorporate the corrections for the water table in the second term. So, when we calculate the Q, we have to take the effective overburden pressure Q, so that we can incorporate the water table effect in the second term also. In the first term, there is no effect of the water table. The second term, to incorporate the water table, we have to take the effective overburden pressure or surcharge when we calculate this Q, and for the third term, we have to, depending upon the position of the water table, this W dash value also have to use. That means, if it is the base of the foundation, then this W dash is 0.5. If it is at a distance of B from the base of the foundation water table position, then W dash is 1. And if it is within that range from the base of the foundation or at a depth of B from the base of the foundation, then by linearly interpolated, if we linearly interpolate in point this value at one range and to another end, one end to another end, then we can get the correction for this water table, which is located any position from base to at a depth of B from the base with below the foundation. Now, this here when we have to calculate the NC, NQ and N gamma, because similarly it is similar to the basic recommendation. In the basic recommendation, it is recommended that NC, NQ, these two value we can calculate by using Meyerhof bearing capacity factor table. So, that means the NC and NQ for the IS recommendation, these value are same as Meyerhof bearing capacity factor value or Hansen's bearing capacity factor value, this NC and N gamma, NC and NQ, these two NC and NQ. So, here to determine the NC and NQ, you have to go, you can take the help of Meyerhof bearing capacity table. By the, but to calculate the N gamma, we have to go for this table. We can from this table, this is basic bearing capacity factor N gamma. By using this table, we can determine the N gamma for value for different friction angles, which varies from 0 degree to 50 degree and value varies from 0 to 763. So, by this, by using this table, we will get the N gamma, and by using Meyerhof bearing capacity factor table, we will get NC and NQ, and by this using this table, by we can get, we will get the IS recommendations corrections factors. So, for the IS correction factors, we have to go use this table, where we will get the SC safe factors for this rectangle, square and or circular footings, and for the depth factors for different phi conditions, and for the inclination factors, this alpha is same as the Meyerhof inclination factors alpha. That means, alpha is the angle making by the resultant load with respect to the vertical axis. So, in this table we will get the corrections, and this table will get the NQ, and from the Meyerhof this table we will get the N gamma, and from the Meyerhof correction factor bearing capacity factor table, that means, by using Meyerhof table we will get the NC and NQ. So, NC and NQ and N gamma from this basics table. So, if you know this value, if you put this on this expression or IS recommendation expression, then we will get the net ultimate bearing capacity of the soil. The next section is the effect of soil compressibility. So, we will get this effect of soil compressibility. So, how to determine the compressibility effect of the soil in different conditions. So, first we will go for the effect of this soil compressibility. Now, in when I was discussing about the Tarzaki's bearing capacity analysis was for, so that is those analysis is developed initially for the general shear failure, then it is modified for the local shear failure. So, that means this general shear failure and local shear failure condition that depends on the compressibility of the soil. Now, those things we can incorporate in detail for this effect on soil compressibility in this section by this process. Now, here suppose this is suggested by Basic in 1973. Now, our expression is Q ultimate, that is C N C into F C S F C D or F C C. This F C S basically correction factor for the shape factor, that is S C, and this is D C, and this is the new correction. So, this F C S is the shape factor correction factor for shape factor, this is depth factor F D C, and F C C is the compressibility factors. So, similarly, this is plus Q N Q F Q S F Q D F Q C plus half gamma B in gamma F gamma S F gamma D and F gamma C. So, similarly, here this is S Q, this is S D, this is D Q. Similarly, this one S gamma and this one D gamma. So, these are the here I am using FCS, which is basically SC that is used in the previous expressions, and this is FCD, actually this is DC. Similarly, this is S gamma, D gamma, SQ and DQ. Now, where this new term FCC, FQC and F gamma C are soil compressibility factors. So, those value, so these SC, DC, SQ, DQ, S gamma, D gamma or FCS, FCD, FQS, FQD, FSH, F gamma D. These are the, this is correction factors for the shape factor, shape factor, this FCS, FQS, F gamma S, and this is depth factor FCD, FQD and F gamma D. These shape factor and depth factors we can determine by using the tables or the presented tables for different cases, even for the tables that I have already shown. From there we can get this shape factor and depth factor, but now the new term, this compressibility factors, those value we have to calculate for to incorporate the effect of compressibility in the bearing capacity analysis. Now, first step, that calculate, we have to calculate the rigidity indexed index IR, where IR is the rigidity index of the soil at a depth of B by 2 approximately below the base of the foundation. So, first we have to calculate this rigidity index IR of the soil at a depth of B by 2 approximately B by 2 below the base of the foundation. Now, this expression of IR is given by G by C into Q dash tan phi, where C and phi is the cohesion and the friction angle of the soil respectively. Now, G is shear modulus of the soil and Q dash is the effective overburden pressure at dF plus B by 2. So, G is the shear modulus of the soil and Q dash is the effective overburden pressure at the depth dF plus B by 2, where dF is the depth of the foundation and B is the width of the foundation. So, point will be somewhere below the base of the foundation at a distance B by 2 from the base. So, now the next step, in the first step we will calculate the IR rigidity index. The next step we will calculate the critical rigidity index, that is CR critical. The expression for IR critical, this is critical rigidity index IR critical, will get is the half exponential 3.30 minus 0.45 B by L cot 45 degree minus phi by 2. So, these are the critical rigidity index value or the expressions. So, by using this expression we can determine the critical rigidity of the soil for any phi and B by L condition, where B is the width of the foundation, L is the length of the foundation. Now, here a table is presented in this slide, where which is the variation of IR, the critical rigidity index with phi and BL. Now, from this table we can determine, this is the table which is variation of critical rigidity index IR critical with different phi and BL. So, this is the phi value and this is the critical rigidity index value for BL, B by L equal to 0 and B by L equal to 1 condition. Now, if B by L is equal to 1, so these are the critical rigidity index value for different phi values, which is varies from 0 to 50. For 0 it is 8 and for 50 it is 1258. Similarly, for B by L equal to 0 condition, for 0 it is 13 and for 50 degree this is 4330. So, these are the table which is presented to determine the critical rigidity index of the soil. Either we, for different B by L condition and phi value, we can use this table to determine this critical rigidity index, or we can determine the expression that I have presented to determine the critical rigidity index. Now, in the next step, the step 3, in the step 3, now if so, in the first step we will calculate the rigidity index IR, and in the second step by using this table or by using the expression we will determine the critical rigidity index. So, now if IR rigidity index is greater than equal to critical rigidity index, then FCC is equal to FQC is equal to F gamma C is 1. Now, if IR critical rigidity index is greater than equal to critical rigidity index, then all the compressibility factors are 1. Now, if IR is less than IRCR or rigidity index is less than critical rigidity index, then F gamma C is equal to F QC is equal to exponential term into 4.4 plus 0.6 B by L tan phi plus 3.07 sin phi and log 2 IR divided by 1 plus sin phi. So, this is the expression of F gamma C or F Q C. Now, for phi equal to 0 condition, F C C is equal to 0.32 plus 0.12 into B by L plus 0.6 log IR. Now, if for phi greater than 0, then F C C is equal to F Q C minus 1 minus F Q C divided by N Q into sin phi. So, now these are the different compressibility factors. Now, for different conditions this value will be different. So, now if rigidity index is greater than equal to critical rigidity index, then all the compressibility factors value are 1. Now, if rigidity index is less than critical rigidity index, then by using this expression we can determine the F gamma C and F Q C. Now, under this head, if phi is equal to 0, then F C C will be equal to this expression. By using this expression, we will get the F C C value. Now, if phi greater than 0, then F C C will be F Q C minus 1 minus F Q C divided by N Q sin phi. So, if we first step we will get the rigidity index, and if we know the width of the foundation, length of the foundation, then we will get this expression for the phi 0 condition of FCC. Now, phi equal to greater than equal to 0 conditions, we should know the value of QC FQC before we calculate the FCC value. So, for phi equal to greater than equal to 0 condition, we should know the FQC if we want to calculate the FCC value. Now this FQC and F gamma C, these expressions for different condition are present. Either we can use this expression or the table that I am going to show you. By using these tables also we can determine this FQC and F gamma C. Now, this is the table that is presented the variation of FQC. So, in this table, these two tables that we are presenting, so these are the two tables where this is for L by B equal to 5 and this is the L by B greater than 5. So, now here these two tables are presented where this is the soil friction angle, this x axis represents the soil friction angle phi and this y axis represents the F gamma C, that is equal to FQC. Now, these lines where are these are the value 1, 2.5, 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, 250 and 500. This is for rigidity index. So, now if we know the, say suppose the rigidity index of a soil is 25 and L by B is equal to 1 and phi is 20 degree. Now, for the L by B equal to 1, phi is 20 degree and for LIR or rigidity index 25 or 2.5, this will be the value and corresponding FQC and F gamma C value will be 0.45 something. Now, for the phi equal to 20 and this IR value 25. So, this compressibility factors value will be around 0.95. So, in this fashion for different L by B value and if L by B is greater than 5, then we have to use this chart. Now, if these values are in between, then by using linear interpolation we can determine these factors. Similarly, for this figure also, for this within this value we can determine thus by using linear interpolation to get the I critical. So, either we can use these tables or figures, or by using the given expression we can determine the different compressibility factors of the soil. So, if we know the different compressibility factors and then the basic expression from the table, we can determine the bearing capacity factor NC, NQ, N gamma, and by compressibility factors by using these expressions or the tables or figures, and these other factors, that is correction factors, that is safe factors or depth factors, that those we can calculate or determine from the table that is presented in this class. So, from these things, from these tables or figures or expressions, we can get all the parameters, and then if we put it in the general expression, then we will get the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil that will incorporate the effect of compressibility of the soil. So, in the next class that I will explain the different other conditions, that is for, because till now we have explained the we have mentioned that the loading is acting at the center of the footing, although it may be inclined or vertical, but it is acted at the center of the footing. But if it is not acting at the center of the footing, or if there is any moment, we are not talking about the moment. So, if there is any moment in the loading condition, or then what will be the bearing capacity value. So, those things different cases that we will explain in the next class. Thank you.